Hey guys! I'm really excited about today's video because it's something totally different than what I normally do. But I recently saw Graveyard Girl's video where she talked about some of her favorite movies of all time, and I was like, that sounds like a really fun video idea because I have a really interesting taste in movies that might surprise you. I mean, I don't know, it might not surprise you, but I came up with a list of 10 of my favorite movies in no particular order because I don't really have a most favorite, but these are just 10 of my most favorite movies. So I'm going to be going through 5 of them in this video, and then I'm going to do a part 2 because I'm sure it would be a really long video if I did all 10 in one video. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to tell you 5 of my most favorite movies and just like a little bit about them. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but I will give you like a little bit of a sort of, what would you call it, like synopsis? That's not the word I'm looking for. I'll give you like a little bit of an idea of like what the movie is generally about, but I don't want to spoil anything here in case you haven't seen these movies. But most of the movies that I'm going to tell you about are 90s. Most of them are from the 90s. So, if you haven't seen these movies, you just definitely need to go see them. So, I'm going to get into this. Also, I have a pimple in the weirdest spot ever. It's like right above my lip. That's like the weirdest spot to get a pimple. It keeps catching my eye in the viewfinder, and I'm like, what is that? I couldn't cover it up with concealer, and this thing is back. I don't know what's going on with my skin. Anyways, let's get into the movies. Alright, so number 1, I'm going to talk about The Breakfast Club. If you've never seen The Breakfast Club, this movie is, so perfect. This, I believe, is the oldest movie that I have here in my list. It's from 1985. It is rated R, and it is a story about, the whole movie is set in one day. So I've always thought that's kind of an interesting thing about this movie. So a group of high school students are having to serve a Saturday detention. So they all are, like, their parents drop them off at detention. I have a bunch of notes on a paper here. So it's, when I looked it up online, it describes it as a wrestler, a brain, a rebel, a beauty, and a shy girl share Saturday detention, and like I said, it's one day. So you have all these different like high school clique kind of people, but they all have to spend the day together. And so the movie is just about how they eventually will, like, what kind of relationships will develop, you know, what kind, if they even get along with each other. It's just a really interesting movie. It has Molly Ringwald and Judd Nelson and a lot of what they call the Brat Pack from the 80s. So if you've never seen The Breakfast Club, definitely watch it. It is just a really good high school film. Alright, next we have Misery. So this movie is from 1990, which is the year I was born. So it's pretty old. It's getting up there in years. It is rated R, and it's actually based on a novel. And it's a Stephen King novel. This is the book. I've had this for a long time. I have read it. It's very yellowed over time. Oh my goodness. I've read this all the way through, but I must have been rereading it for some reason. I'm gonna cover some of this up because it's got like personal info on it, but this is my lunch card from high school. That is so weird. I did not even know this was in there, but that is really cool. There's my school lunch card. Wow. Anyway, so this movie is based on a novel from Stephen King. It's described as a crime/drama. I love this movie because it's very suspenseful. It's about a famous author that he actually has a car wreck, and when he wakes up from his car wreck, he's like in this woman's house, and she's nursing him because he got, you know, hurt in the wreck and stuff, and he can't leave, and because they are like up in the mountains, it's all snowy, and she says we can't get out because the roads are bad, but she's like, by the way, I'm your #1 fan, I love all your books and all this stuff. And so she eventually is like, I really would love it if you would write your next book for me, you know. And it just kind of keeps going, and he kind of starts to understand, he kind of starts to get the gist that she's maybe a little wacko, and it just kind of goes from there. It's a very suspenseful kind of movie. Kathy Bates is the crazy lady, and James Cain, I think that's how you say his name, is the author. So really good movie. What else did I have on this? I just wrote suspenseful. Yeah, I love suspenseful mystery type movies, and this is definitely one of those. Alright, next is Mrs. Doubtfire. So, I love this movie. It is a Robin Williams classic. It is from 1993. It's PG-13, and it's described as a comedy/drama. So if you've never seen this movie, this is such a classic. I love Robin Williams. His humor was amazing. It's really sad that he took his own life, but his movies are just amazing. But this is definitely my favorite of his. So this movie is centered around Robin Williams and his wife, Sally Field. They get a divorce, and they have 3 children, but in the middle of the divorce, there's like all this custody stuff, and so he wants to be able to spend more time with his kids, and his actual job is a voice actor, so he's already like, you know, good at like acting and stuff like that. So to spend more time with his kids, he decides to like dress up like an older woman and act as a nanny, because Sally Field, she was looking for a nanny to like, or a babysitter, like to stay with the kids and stuff. So he dresses all up and he puts this disguise on and changes his voice to sound like this old woman, and it is hilarious and I love it. And then there's also some like really touching moments like toward the end and everything, and I really love this movie. It's hilarious. It gives you all the feels too. And I love, there's so many good quotes from this movie that I'm always quoting, but now of course when I'm on the spot thinking about it, I can't think of the quotes. But Mrs. Doubtfire is just a really, really good movie. If you have not seen it, definitely go look it up, because it's probably in like the $5 bin at Walmart at this point, because it's such an old movie. Alright, very last actually counts as 2 movies. So this is my number 4 and number 5. Like I said, none of these are in any particular order. This is just me going down the list. So number 4 and 5 is Kill Bill Volume 1 and Kill Bill Volume 2. So I am obsessed with these movies. They're from 2003 and 2004. They are rated R. I love Quentin Tarantino movies. The way he directs movies is so brilliant to me. I can like just be watching a random movie, and I like, when you're watching a Quentin Tarantino directed movie, you just can tell it's his style. You can just tell it's one of his films. He always has lots of blood and gore, like violence and stuff in his movies, and Kill Bill has Uma Thurman, which is one of my favorite actresses. I love her, and I've actually had people tell me, it was a few years ago, but I've had people tell me that I resemble her. I don't ever see it, but I've got that a few times. What else? So basically, Kill Bill Volume 1 and Volume 2, it's 2 movies, but it's just one long story. So basically, Uma Thurman, this is a really hard story to summarize. She's part of a deadly Viper assassin squad, and that's what it's called, and she gets shot in the head and by one of her people, and she goes into a coma for 4 years, and when she wakes up, she's mad because when she got shot, she was actually pregnant, and she's like, where's my baby? And basically the whole movie is her trying to like find all the people that were part of her squad that turned on her, and she's trying to assassinate them, along with Bill, who was the like leader of this group. So there's just lots of action and, like I said, bloody violence, and I just love the way this movie is put together. It's got Lucy Liu, Daryl Hannah, David Carradine is Bill, and such a good movie. I could watch these over and over. These came out when I was about 14 years old, 13 or 14, and ever since they came out, I've always been like obsessed with them. Alright guys, so that was my first 5 of my top 10 favorite movies of all time. So stay tuned, I'm going to be filming part 2 pretty quick, so look out for that, because next time we have one comedy, another Quentin Tarantino movie, a couple thriller, like drama type suspenseful movies, and another one. So I hope you guys like this video. Like I said, it's totally different than anything I've ever done. I was just really inspired by Graveyard Girls video. So yeah, hope you guys like something different. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because I post a brand new video every single Friday. So I'll see you guys next time. Part 2 might be up tomorrow. I don't know how quickly I'll get it filmed, but I'll see you guys then.